Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show, Downsizing and Relocation for Boomers and Seniors. My name is Jeff Stone, your host. I'm a licensed real estate salesperson with Douglas Elliman in Manhasset, Washington, Long Island, New York. My specialty is working with the 55 and over individual. I'm a seniors real estate specialist, and that's my niche. That's what I practice. And right now we have 3 sales associates from the Southeast Florida coast. Earlier today, we had 3 associates from the Southwest coast. So again, it's great that they're going to let us know what real estate is like in their areas, the amenities, 55 and over, non-55 and over condos, townhomes, villas, communities, what's going quickly, where the good prices are, what you can do. So that being said, I am going to start this off in this order. I want to go from north to south. All right. So Howard, you're going to be last. Gentlemen are last here in this case. So we're going to start off with Katya. Katya, we've interviewed you before, and thank you for being here again today. You have a lot of good information, and I see your success on Facebook. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And it's the luxury market is great, but I'm also talking about the salt of the earth folks that sell their homes, and they use a good chunk of that to purchase elsewhere. We also want to talk about the tax incentives of living in Florida. Hardened homes, what storm coverage, flood insurance, that, and also structures that are being looked at carefully by engineers, and that report's going to be coming out pretty soon. And the financial portfolio that each building has to have in order to get an okay. They want to make sure it's structurally sound, as because of the one tragedy that happened when that building fell, collapsed. So what I want to do, Katya, I want to give you the lead here. So go for it.
No problem. Hi, everybody. My name is Katya Reisler. I'm a realtor with Douglas Elliman here in South Florida. And I will give you a little bit overall. Yes, I live in Boca Raton. I actually relocated from Canada. And what we're seeing right now, it's still a lot of relocations. There is also a lot of different people that are downsizing. I just did a couple of transactions with gentlemen that are 55 and over. And what is happening is they are living in country clubs in Boca Raton, and the country club fees are going higher. So what they are choosing to do is downsize. So we're seeing quite a bit of that, quite a bit of movement in the country clubs. They are going into smaller properties. Some of them are going into rentals as well. We're also seeing people coming from New York, from Canada, and from South America, that they are coming to purchase. Not necessarily, like, there is, yes, that luxury group that is coming for the larger homes, mainly waterfronts, but we're also seeing a lot of people that want to buy that 1 bedroom. So when it comes to condos and even the new development market that I touch quite often, they are looking for the smaller units. So not necessarily for those big units. They just want something to come to South Florida. I am very familiar with Delray, Palm Beach, and Boca Raton. Again, the market is still strong at my end, more in the luxury market. The rental market went very slow this year. I normally get a lot of rentals from New York, California, and Canada. And a lot of the rental market, the people that were coming to spend those holidays here, we did not see a lot of that. The prices in the rental market has gone up so much that they wanted to rent for 1 or 2 months, and that is not available in most of these buildings. That is just simply not available for less than 4 or 5 months. So we just didn't see a lot of movement in there. So that is something important to note for people. I also work in Bal Harbour and Bay Harbor Island. In the luxury market, we're seeing quite a bit of movement in there, especially in new development. So there is a lot of that. And again, people coming from those 1-2 bedrooms more than the big units. I don't know anything else that you want me to speak about in reference to these areas. Boca Raton in general, we have a lot of hospitals. We have a lot of country clubs, it's smaller and larger. And we have a lot of gated communities and quite a bit of families that are here from New York that are making it their home, and their families, the younger generations, are also moving to be closer to them. We're seeing quite a bit of that. Lots of families moving to be closer.
Now, when I was down there last year, and I'm going to be down there again the beginning of the next year, by the way, sing around.
Okay.
But I like to drive, and but I love Delray Beach, Atlantic Avenue. All the restaurants and stores there, it's fantastic. The beach is right there. Fantastic sunrises. I mean, you guys get fabulous sunrises, you know, and I'm a sunset and sunrise photographer. So I had to run around just to get a sunset, you know, and it was kind of iffy, you know. So when I was on the West Coast, it was great getting a sunset, but I couldn't get a sunrise. So it was, in any case. So Delray prices can be all over. I've seen some real encouraging prices coming out for condos, because I get a lot of emails sent to me, what's new, what's coming onto the market from all these areas. And, you know, again, by the ocean, very expensive, intracoastal, less expensive, a little further inland, less expensive. On a periphery of these towns, also, that's where you can find some better deals.
Yeah, we're also seeing a lot in West Palm Beach. I just went to preview a project. It's called Mr. C. We're seeing quite a bit of movement in West Palm. So it's funny, the developer literally said, you know, all the people in the island of Palm Beach normally look at West Palm, and we're going to look at them. So there is a lot of beautiful buildings coming, you know, different sizes. There's quite a bit of building in there in West Palm. Jupiter is also seeing a lot, mainly the waterfront property, but in West Palm, there's quite a bit coming, and a lot of restaurants, a lot of companies relocating. So as a result, when the companies are relocating, now you have an influx of people that are coming as well. So they're buying properties at different price points.
Right.
And yeah, we have quite a bit of people still coming here.
Yeah, that's what is popular with folks looking to relocate down to Florida. Medical facilities,
Yes.
shopping, walkabout areas, parks, things like that, you know, are attractive to people. Cultural affairs, events in the local area. When I was down in Delray, they had the annual art show right there.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, holy cow, this place is hopping all the time. You know,
We have quite a bit happening right now. We have the Miami Boat Show. We just had our Basel. We have a lot of events in Miami. They do, and they also do it in Del Rey. Restaurants participate in a lot of different events. So, you know, you can eat all those wonderful meals for a reduced price at certain times, certain days. So they have quite a bit. We also have the tennis in Del Rey. We have the tennis matches right now. So Del Rey Open is going on at the same time. So we have quite a bit happening right now at the same time.
Yeah, you know, I like to have dinners and lunches all along the East Coast there as well. West Palm Beach, you know, right there on the harbor. And I guess, did you see my yacht that was parked in a slip? Parked more, whatever.
That's the one that I put in my social media.
Yeah.
You didn't see that.
Yeah, it's titled "My Ship Has Come In."
Oh, that's funny.
So, you know, that being said, it's a beautiful area. Juno Beach, especially too, because you can walk along the ocean front. There is a nice walkable path, and it's wide. You don't bump into everybody. The dock is beautiful, and but a lot of good attractions down that way for sure. You know,
Yes.
and so I do see you posting a lot of photos with properties, and that's great because it tells me it's hot. Right now, it's kind of slowed down just a tickle. Home prices are still scheduled to go up a little. Mortgage rates, unfortunately, aren't very cooperative, but it's supposed to stay in a 6.5 median range in that area for the rest of the year. But homes are a little slower to the market. This is the beginning of the spring rush. But I'm signing somebody up Monday. By the way, I sent the invite, this link to the Ideal Living Expo attendees. It was my 9th year doing this. Last year, if you remember, I did it from Delray Beach. I asked Ingrid, the manager, to give me the code for the office, and I sat in there, opened up, and the colleagues of that hosted the booth for me, they had the laptop up. People were coming to the laptop and asking questions. But again, I like to bring value to folks looking to relocate. Yes, we have a dynamite relocation department on Long Island. But again, if I can introduce somebody that I know, that I visited, spoke with, all the better. But if, say, for instance, if I couldn't handle someone, say, for instance, a Southampton property, I'm going to refer to an expert in that area. That's what you do as a professional. All right. So the thing is that, but I always go to the expert handling their areas, and it does multiple areas, not just I sell in the town I live in or where my license is, because we're professionals, and I go wherever business takes me. I have a New York State driver's license too. So that being said, I'm going to go right down to Elke. Thank you so much, Katya.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank
Elke,
you.
you're welcome to share your business with us.
All right. I'm actually in the same office as Katya in Boca. We work together. And can you hear me okay?
Yes, I've been to that
Okay,
Boca office,
perfect.
by the way.
Okay. Okay, great. And the areas that I'm going to speak about, since Katya already shared about Boca, are a little bit south, and they actually go into Broward County, but they're just minutes from here, like 5 minutes.
Right.
And it's Lighthouse Point, Deerfield Beach, Pompano, and also I want to add Hillsborough Mile in there, or Hillsborough Beach in there. I apologize. So I feel the same as Katya. Our market is good. And I feel like we got a late start to the season, but it has been a really busy week this week. Probably the busiest week that we've had, because usually we start, we hit the ground running like the second week of January. And for me personally, it was a little bit of a slow start, but it has definitely started to pick up. And so I know that our focus right now is the 55. I do see people downsizing as well, and the 55 plus. So price point wise, it's about, I feel like you can get something in the mid 400s. And I think that's pretty much where it starts. And these are properties that are going to be within 10 minutes of the beach. They're not far, or even almost walkable to the beach. But it's difficult to get something less than that. And obviously you can go up because we have a really strong luxury market. There's a ton of new development in Pompano Beach. And there's a lot of those developments that are starting at 2 million. And they're very luxurious. They have all the bells and whistles, and they're, wonderful. But I know what we're talking about is like, the average person. So the city of Lighthouse Point is very unique and special because it's very small. It only has 10,000 people in it, and there's about 5,000 households. Most of the homes are single family, and they do go up to, I don't know, like $25–30 million, but there's quite a few condos that are even in like this 300–400 price range. It's its own city with its own police department, fire department, library, and everything is east of Federal Highway. There's a marina, there's parks. It's really quite unique and special. So if you're looking in this area, I highly recommend you take a look at Lighthouse Point. And there's also another small city that's called Hillsborough Beach. And it is on the island, meaning in between the intercoastal and the ocean. And it runs from Deerfield to Pompano. It's right in between the two. And it also, if a home in there is like $1 billion, but there's some condos that are very, very reasonable, some condos and some co-ops. So that's also a really great area to take a look at if it's something you're considering. And another good thing about all these areas is their proximity to Fort Lauderdale Airport. everything is gonna be less than 30 minutes. Whereas if you go further north, you know, Boca's not bad, but as you go further north, then you're probably gonna end up in Palm Beach Airport. Fort Lauderdale is, you know, sometimes people find that they can get a better price on flights or they have more options. So that's another thing that's really good about the area. And it is, the beach access is very close. There's tons of shopping, tons of restaurants. People are drawn to the weather, especially this time of year. And let me see, what else were we going to talk about? Oh, you asked about to talk a little bit about like the Surfside disasters, what we're referring to when you talk about the concrete the concrete restoration on the buildings and the financials, etc. So I'm sure you're all aware, several years ago, there was that terrible disaster in Miami in Surfside and the building went down. So there is a legislation in place now, and if you wanted to watch it, you could actually Google it. And there is a meeting that you can YouTube, and they go through what they're putting in place. And a few of the things are, last year, all the buildings within 3 miles of the coast needed to prepare an engineer report. So they're now figuring out how they get these things done that they're required to do. And at the end of this year, which is literally December 31st, it's going to be required for all these buildings to have fully funded reserves in place. So that means to allocate like a special portion to each individual item that is going to need to be done, whether it's the roof or the pool or the painting or the parking lot, et cetera, but it's going to have a fund for each of those things. So when that does come up and needs to be done, like the painting is usually every 7 years, the roof is every 20 years, stuff like that. They're going to have the money to do it, and there won't need to be an assessment. And that way the maintenance will not be deferred, and hopefully that type of a disaster won't happen again. So if you're looking actually anywhere in Florida, I highly recommend that you really make it a point to look at the building's financials, budget, and ask the questions. Like, have they done their concrete restoration? Where are they at? Are there assessments coming up? Because you don't want to have the surprise, you know, they're going up everywhere, or they already have. So it's something to be expected. Don't be surprised if you see that, but you just, you know, some are going up a lot more than others because of the position they're in financially. So it's just something to be aware of when you're buying here. And that we help you with as realtors.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we don't want any surprises to happen along the way for these relocatees. You know, when they go down for a week, they want to get all their information. Say we all have our tool belt of professional resources, referrals, financial planner, because the tax incentives are many down there, such as no state income tax, does not tax the retirement benefits, 401ks, IRAs, Social Security, part-time work even. Homeowner can qualify up to 50 grand in property tax, homestead properties. No inheritance tax. How big is that? And if you're into opening up a pizzeria, which I spoke to somebody over in Weston, he went down there. He says Florida does not tax limited partnerships or LLCs. You know, so that could be a big draw too. But you know, a financial planner, an accountant, to see what you could comfortably afford is the way to go about it. The more you know, the more information you get from experts such as yourselves, that's very important. And that's another reason for this call. So people don't go in so wide-eyed. They understand what's at play here, and to ask you questions. And if they wanted to come down to your area, you know, I'm going to send them flyers too. All right. On this, all your contact information. You can even put it in a chat if you guys wanted to. So this way they can copy and paste it. But the thing is that you have your own referral sources and to use them, especially, you know, when you're going to a different state, you know, it's for your own benefit for sure. And downsizing upon downsizing, well, you know, here we downsize. And then when we get too old for that. We downsize again to a
Well, plot.
place where we're just going to live in place. And I don't want to say anything else behind that. Right now, I'm in a co-op community on the water, Manhasset Bay, and people from the areas, which, you know, these are high-end homes. They like our community. It's all about community. And what you get is waterfront. So, and it's you know, the price point is exceptional. So you're getting a lot here, plus a built-in pool that overlooks Manhasset Bay and Kings Point mega mansions, as well as Sands Point, 5 minutes away, mega mansions. But, you know, again, there's affordability no matter where you go. You just have to have a seasoned professional look for you who knows the area. So, no, that's great. Thank you so much, Elke.
You.
Now, down to Fort Lauderdale
Yes.
is my friend Howard Horowitz.
Jeff, thank you for the intro. Great seminar podcast.
Okay, so what can you tell us about Fort Lauderdale?
It's interesting about Fort Lauderdale. It has a big variety of different types of properties. I'm a New York City boy. Pretty much lived my whole entire life in Manhattan. A number of years I moved out to the suburbs, Weston, Connecticut. And when I started to come down to Florida, I just started to see a lot of different variety of lifestyles that I wasn't aware that Florida offered to buyers. Everybody that was looking for different types of properties were steering me to either the, say, gated communities, suburbs, but then I kind of fell in love with Fort Lauderdale because of the variety and the accessibility of walking, being a little more of an urban type of city versus maybe a suburban city. Fort Lauderdale also has a beautiful Broward Arts Center, a lot of culture here. And then, of course, you have the great Las Olas Beach, which is a prime destination for a lot of people that are looking for the sun and surf down here in Florida. But what I could tell you about Fort Lauderdale is you don't need a lot of money, cash, to come down. I mean, there are different price points for different people that want to downsize or maintain their same lifestyle, whether they do want to buy that single family home, or maybe perhaps move into a gated community, or to buy a single family home on the intercoastal with a boat, because Fort Lauderdale is known for the international capital of boating and yachting. We happen to have our boat show the end of October annually. So what I can tell you about Fort Lauderdale is there's also another unusual type of property mix along the beach, ocean, where there's a lot of hotels such as the Four Seasons, that also offer ownership of condos within these hotels. And that seems to be a very popular mix for those in New York City, Manhattan, or some people that want to downsize from a home in Long Island and have the turnkey type of style of just moving into an apartment with access to the beach. And then they have the ability to perhaps rent out to seasonal rentals that come down to Fort Lauderdale quite often, peak season, say January through March. So Fort Lauderdale has a lot of great attractions, Jeff. What's also a nice note of comfort is there's a whole host of medical facilities, doctors. There's the beautiful Cleveland Clinic in Weston, Florida, not to be confused with Weston, Connecticut, but Weston, Florida, which is only about 30 minutes from here. And that's also given a lot of lift to the town of Weston itself with the home appreciations there, which is a beautiful community. So Fort Lauderdale is easy access to the beach, easy access to Fort Lauderdale Airport, easy access to the Broward Community Center, easy access on the boulevard to restaurants, lounges, hotels, easy access either going north to Boca or south to Miami Beach. It's kind of right in the middle. It's also interesting to see that not only have a lot of restaurateurs from Manhattan come to West Palm Beach, Boca, down to Miami Beach, but a lot of the restaurateurs are opening up restaurants in Fort Lauderdale. Not only that, a lot of the restaurants that originated out of Miami and the Brickell Avenue have also opened up new restaurants here in Fort Lauderdale. So what I will leave you with basically is there's a property lifestyle for anybody that wants to downsize or even upgrade or move from a single family Long Island home to a single family home in Fort Lauderdale or move to a condo. We have it for you. The move is yours. We also within Douglas Elliman have a financial arm, which will give those Long Island residents some comfort knowing that they're working with a Elliman agent to also provide the financial resources and steer them in the right direction to acquire their property of their desire. And sometimes you don't have to put down that 20%. There are ways that we offer lower capital requirements to invest in properties. So look, it's a big investment for anybody that was making the move, but I'll have to say this. There's a lot of comfort down here. A lot of family is moving down here, and people want to be with people. Family wants to be with family. Doctors want to be with their family members, so they're moving down here. So don't be fearful. There are not a lot of hidden costs when it comes down to Florida, and any of the costs are always communicated with our agents here within the Douglas Elliman family and to any potential buyer. But really, you don't need a ton of money to come down. Yes, there has been appreciation, which is wonderful. We all want appreciation. We all want to build wealth with any investment we make, whether it's real estate, whether it's the stock market, whether it's art, jewelry, cars. The point being is there's a property for anybody and anyone. We're building single family. We're building new luxury condos here on the boulevard. We're opening up the Bentley down in Sunny Isles. I mean, there is something for everybody, Jeff. There's just no reason why anybody should hesitate whatsoever to find their dream desire of a location. One thing I can tell you about Florida is there's something that never closes. The weather's fantastic. There might have been 2-3 weeks of unusually cool weather down here, I have to admit. But the weather's great. That's always available. And the ocean is open 24 hours, 7 days a week with beautiful, pristine beach, if that floats your boat. If that doesn't float your boat, we'll get you a boat on the Intercoastal.
Wow, that sounds very good, Howard. Very strongly put. I love driving down A1A. I love driving down 41 on the West Coast, right along the coastline. How beautiful is that? You know, I spend a few weeks here and there. I do travel. I stop in the offices or at least talk to the brokers of record, and we go from there. I learn a lot more every time I go down there. The amenities, the medical facilities, the parks, any events that they have that are special to that area. And Fort Lauderdale, the Riverwalk is a great thing. If you know, a lot of people, well, I would say, you know, a fair amount of people from Long Island, when they relocate, they'll go into Manhattan sometime. But if you go down to say Fort Lauderdale, you get a small city. Correct. That everywhere I turn, they're building these huge towers, residential towers. And I can't believe how much is being constructed down there.
Tina Farina the luxury car automotive company, is putting up a beautiful, I forgot the stories. Maybe it's 60 stories tall condo right on Las Olas Boulevard, right by the Riverwalk, which you're talking about.
Yeah, I took a picture of it.
Yeah, it's in the heart of the boulevard, literally. So for those from Long Island that are tired of hopping in the car or scraping the ice off their windshield, Las Olas is the place, man. Everybody is congregating to Fort Lauderdale. Also, what's interesting is a lot of business here. I mean, corporate financial business, businesses that have been relocating and opening up satellite offices from New York City, along with West Palm is a big attractive community for finance. Crypto is down in South Beach. So, even if you're retired and you still want to be in the action, you want to be in the financial action or the culture. There are locations along the A1A corridor from West Palm down to South Beach, and Fort Lauderdale is the epicenter of both.
Yeah. Now, from what I've seen on the East and West Coast, each town, each city has its own vibe, has its own attractions, amenities, what they're known for, perhaps, different price points. There is literally something for everyone. And I recommend you go down for a week, rent a car, drive around. They could meet with you, or you can meet with them, and then, or even send them properties while they're up here in New York. So then when you come down, you hit the ground running based on your search parameters. And that's the way to do it intelligently.
Yes.
You're doing it smart. So
that's how I did it, Jeff. I mean,
Yeah.
I a little bit here and there coming back and forth between New York and Florida, and finally, I actually first moved into Boca.
Yeah.
Because that's all I knew. I had friends and family in Boca. Come on down. Boca's lovely.
Yeah.
Spectacular, booming, great destination, whether it's a full year and it's getting it's grading younger.
Yeah.
The demographics are younger. But the point is, once you're down here, you could really find your own vibe, niche. And if Boca is it, so be it. Beautiful country clubs, 10, 11 country clubs. People from Crest Hollow up in Long Island would love it in Boca. But I miss that urbanness a little bit. A little like get up and walk, so urbability. So that's why I settled near the Las Olas Boulevard here, which I'm fortunate about. But I just want to make something, I just want to say this one more time. We do have that financial arm within the Element family to offer those mortgage resources for people that are seeking mortgages. A lot of people are buying all cash, but you don't need to put down a lot of money. Prices have gone up, which is wonderful. I'm contrary to what other people seem to think on the business stations about maybe a flattening of prices. Florida's become so desirable. When you have a guy like Jeff Bezos moving to Florida to save probably $400 million in state taxes, it's resounding to all the other high net worth individuals that own corporations and companies in California or Chicago. So in my opinion, I feel appreciation is still ahead of us. And that's just my opinion versus maybe what other financial experts might say, Jeff.
Yeah, and no, it's wonderful. Both coasts have wonderful beaches. There's a lot of, on the West Coast, building as well. Some are renovating because of storm that happened there last September. So they're still rebuilding from that, but they're making good headway because I see it everywhere. There's a lot of hope. And since COVID pretty much ended, you have a lot of Canadians on both sides of the coast. You have Midwesterners. I thought Canadians and Midwesterners only stuck to the West Coast. That's not true. because I saw a lot of people wearing Michigan shirts when the Lions were going to be playing the Buccaneers. And, when I was in St. Pete, I steered clear of Tampa Bay because, anyway.
Everybody seems so content down here.
Yeah.
I have to say, about in the evenings, whether you're a night person or an early morning person, that's another thing with Florida. I mean, whatever your like, it's a lifestyle, whatever you like. In the morning, there's activities for you, or in the evening, there's activities. But everybody seems content. The variety is there for people that are moving down here, and it's just an easier lifestyle.
Well, some concerns I do get, Howard,
What's that?
and I'm sure you could all
Talk
relate to
about it.
this.
Yeah.
My customers and clients are concerned about, well, I'll move into an area I don't know anyone. But believe it or not, some of their friends and neighbors have moved down there already, so that attracts them as well. But again, just like as a teenager, you go into a different school district, it's a little awkward at first, but you fit in, you make new
Correct.
friends. All right. And that's the beauty of it. It's a new lifestyle, and
Yep.
it's a quality of lifestyle that, something Florida presents itself as it's a sunny state. And what happened recently with all the rain, that's El Nino. So blame it on them. All right. So,
Well,
but
what I will
Yes,
say
if I
about
can-
that, yeah, let me just finish with that. You know, with all the new development going up, Boca, Fort Lauderdale, when you go into a new development and you don't know anybody, you're getting to meet everybody. Everybody wants to meet everybody when you go into, say, a new development. Everybody's in the same situation that others are in. They don't know anybody. They're just coming down. They might not have family. They might not have friends. But when you go into a development, you meet people. There's activities. There's groups to join. I mean, there are so many ways you could still, attend, go to the universities here. A ton of universities.
okay.
Classes always being given. So there's always ways to stay active and meet.
Yes. Agreed. Someone else, Elke, you had something, or Katya, something to
Oh,
say?
it was me. It's Katya. So one of the things that I wanted to mention, and Howard just touched on it as well. So in a lot of the developments, especially in Boca, we have a lot of activities. There's movie theaters within the actual structure. So there is like 8 different buildings. Now you have a movie theater, you have a gym, you have classes, you have a lot of activities. And I guess when people are coming here, it will be important for them to visit all those places. Just to see where they feel that it's their lifestyle. Some of them are closer to the water, some of them are not. So there's quite a bit of that, and there is still building more. So it's not all of them are not, your older places. And there is some in Boynton Beach as well. There is some, like I just heard of one that is also coming up in Hallandale. So there's different areas where you have that. And it's just a matter of them, letting anybody know, where their family is. Let's get them as close as possible to their family. And but one of the things that when I relocated 12 years ago, at least in Boca, because I was coming to Boca for the schools, everything is behind gated communities. So you can drive along the streets, you can drive along Glade, you can drive along Jock, and all what you're going to see is hedges. So you definitely need someone that is going to be able to help you to be able to get through those gates, because otherwise you just see a lot of beautiful greenery, and that's not what they want. But that's what I wanted to mention.
No, that sounds, that sounds great. Is there anything, Elke, that you needed to say?
No, I mean, Florida's a wonderful place, the weather, the beaches, and I do agree. I think our prices are still inching up, and it's because it's just so desirable
Right.
to be here.
In our case, it's supply and demand that makes it inch up a little bit. And they slow down a little bit on the listing end of it and closed end of it. But, again, median sales prices are up a little, and will continue to go up a little. But again, I say, if you're thinking of relocating, prep your house for sale now and get it
Yeah.
going, because you don't
Yeah.
know what 6 months from now is going to do, what a year from now is going to do. But planning ahead is always the best thing to do. Plan your trip down to Florida. Plan to stay down there and learn from experts such as yourselves. Drive around the area. You know, it's different reasons why we moved down to Florida. One, yes, it's climate, but it's also lowering your monthly expenses. If you go for a mortgage, and to point out, you don't have to have all cash. You can use a mortgage and save a lot of that cash for a rainy day that you may need, or medical expenses.
Exactly.
So, you know, again, so lowering your monthly expenses, your utilities, your car insurance, it just makes sense. And guess what? You get a place down there, I guarantee you, if you have adult kids, they're going to be bringing the whole family down there from time to time. Yeah, we're going to go to granddad's, or we're going to go to grandma's. You know, that's just the way a lot of times it works. So whatever reason it is, don't be afraid of what you don't know. So there's something for everybody. You don't have to necessarily buy all cash because you don't want to deplete your savings. You will get to meet new people, or maybe meet some of your neighbors that have gone down there already. So the thing is that, yeah, it's the familiarity of being where we are right now. And I'm a proponent of living in place. They'll call it aging in place. But again, you know, I've worked with people that are do both, and that's part of my consultation package when I sit down with them. You know, and it was recognized for my efforts providing value to the 55 and over market by the National Association of Realtors in 2014, receiving the Outstanding Service Award. You know, that was a nice recognition of what my work is. And, you know, I co-hosted a radio show called The Senior Moment. I was interviewed by Realtor Magazine. So things like that, to me, making a book, well, maybe as a kid, you know, trying to make $1 million overnight. Now it's providing value. It's providing service. And that's where it's at for me. So, and speaking with you, yes, the same. You know, we all need to make a living, but at the same token, service, providing value. And that's what it is. And as element agents, we do share, even though we're competitors, we're friendly competitors, we do share with one another. And that's the way it's done. And that's why element is such a powerful force in real estate today. So I know there
Jeff,
are other.
I concur. You know, I was thinking the same thing when I'm looking at this panel here between Katia and Elke. I mean, you have some of the best agents in the country that are looking to inform their clients. So when you're speaking to a potential client who's unfamiliar with Florida, or perhaps the neighborhood that they want to move to, Katia, Elke, myself, yourself are so in the know that we provide that service. And if we don't know it, we'll reach out to one of our friendly Douglas Elliman agents that are not competitive, that will help make sure that their clients get the right information and also the right property.
Yeah. For all of us, we have our professional referrals, our resources to experts in the industry. For me as well, you know, with seniors, a senior move manager, an organizer, declutterer, a junk removal service, somebody who sells your stuff, moves your stuff, throws out your stuff. You know, it's all of that staging, all of that goes into it. And I got a big photo shoot Monday. It's on the, you know, comes with a deeded boat slip, which is very nice. I'm having drone photography as well. So I noticed that my partner, Christina Musini, is on the call here. Christina, you want to just pop in and say hello from your phone? That is, if she didn't put it away and walk away from the living room. So, but in any case, okay. She's a great value.
Sorry, I'm driving at the moment. That's why. It wasn't that I'm not here listening to everything.
Oh, you're in New York. That's allowable.
No, I'm driving. I'm in Florida. Actually.
Oh, that's right. You're at what, Palm Beach Shores?
Yeah, West Palm, right. Singer Island.
Singer Island. Go to the Palm Beach Resort, the Sailfish
Okay.
Marina.
Okay, will do.
Yeah, they
But
posted one
everything,
of my
it was very
sunsets.
informative. Very informative. There was one place you guys were talking about, Hillsborough, Florida,
Hillsborough Beach. Yes,
right? And Hillsborough Beach. And what was the one before that that you were speaking of?
Lighthouse Point.
Lighthouse Point. Okay.
Yeah, they're both
I just-
cities. Yes.
I just want to research those. They sounded very interesting. Thank
Yes.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, Christina worked with me at the Ideal Living Expo, and that's what's behind me right now. That was a booth of one of the years that I was there, in ninth year doing that. And I meet a lot of interesting people, a lot of attendees, and usually there's about 50 vendors from all over the East Coast and Florida, and I know them as well. But it's interesting. The attendees are anywhere from I like to move out sooner than later to 6 months out, a year, 2 years. An attendee calls me up. She says, Jeff, I'm ready to sell. So, we went over there and said, this is what you need to do. And I keep in mind, you don't have to spend a lot to really make your house beautiful. Do the simple things like a real spick and span, declutter, depersonalize, stage a little bit, clean up things, spruce up the outside of your house, landscaping, little things like that, maybe paint a little bit here and there. But I don't want you to spend a whole lot of money. I would rather have the buyers spend a whole lot of money. But the thing is that, I try to work with folks as much as possible to bring in a lot of common sense. And that's it. Because it's how I got into this business, because my own mother looking to age in place. And for her, it was a reverse mortgage. But she's the type of person, that's it. She's set for life, done. Okay. But I still practice on her because it's good for me. So I get all the objections, which is great. Objection handling. So in any event, I think I am done here. I don't know if any of you have any further questions for the sales associates here on the call. John Orr, do you have anything to add, or anyone else? Anything to add from anybody? Okay, everybody's good to go. All right, as I will send the link out as soon as it's downloaded, and it'll be on my YouTube and on Elements iTunes platform under my show called Downsizing and Relocation for Boomers and Seniors. If anybody wants a recording to this show, as one already texted me just a few minutes ago, I can certainly do that along with your contact information. And that's it. So I will be back again in January. I've gone from St. Augustine all the way down to Key West, and Key West is a blast.
Yes.
You never know what to expect when you're down in Key West. But one thing I want to do in my town, we have a dock that goes out into the bay. I want to have, I'm going to nickname that Mallory Dock. I want to have somebody play the bagpipes, Amazing Grace, 3 times a year during summer, and have a big thing there. I want to get a lot of people there, refreshments, and why not? Let's enjoy what we have. And for us, it's the waterfront in Port Washington, and the people themselves make port. So that being said, if no one else has anything to add, I'll just call it a day, and we just go from there. So thanks again for agreeing to be on the show, and any attendees that were here today to provide us with their expertise and knowledge of their areas. And we'll see you again soon. And let's connect on social media, guys. I'm not a bad guy,
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you, Jeff.
so much,
Thank you
everybody.
very much. Take care,
care.
all. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Cheers.